Welcome everybody here to Talladega Super Speedway as it's going to play host to the 34th weekend of Season 4 of the NCAA Duracell Cup Series. The middle race of the final round of the playoffs, if you will, round 3, where we're going to be whittling the field down from the Elite 8 to the Final 4. And it's obviously, since it's Super Speedway, it's our wild card race in this round. No doubt about that. Last week, we ended up seeing pretty much the table set for the race here today at Talladega, and it will set the stage for who's comfortable and who's in trouble going into Rockingham next week to, of course, determine those final 4 at Homestead Miami Speedway. But it's not charter qualifying that we're getting set for here. 19 laps of racing around this 2.66 mile super speedway. Drivers looking to be the top 6 finishers here today to qualify for the Geico 500 later on this afternoon. A Xavier lines up on the pole position alongside of RJ Bishop. Former charter winner this season, D Poteet, alongside of J Dearborn in row 2. And T Gehrdes with Quentin Moore. That's going to make up row 3. Check down the description below for your full starting lineup for today's non-charter event. 26 drivers in the field here for the non-charter race, so still going to be a lot of opportunity for drivers to be able to work together. Got a lot of teammates in this field as well that can all work together in the attempt to all get into the main show as well, where I'm certain with all of them starting towards the back, they will very quickly hook up. Start-finish line at Daytona is in the middle of the tri-oval, right around where they're approaching now, but at Talladega, it's midway between the tri-oval and turn 1. That extra few hundred feet could be very important later on today as to who might be able to clinch themselves a playoff spot and who will not. As the non-charter race here today at Talladega is green, let's roll. This is going to be the 8th playoff race so far this season. 7 currently under our belts, and only 2 playoff contenders have gone to victory lane in those 7 playoff races. Dylan Young back in the first playoff race at Richmond, and then, of course, Carson Gum picking up the victory in that Arizona race that moved him on to this round of 8. Chevrolet's on the inside line moving forward, but one thing about this Talladega, all lines move. As a matter of fact, you're going to see a lot of drivers jump up to the outside line of the back straightaway just because there's so much momentum to be gained. You'll see it a lot more when we ended up having the full 42 cars on the field here later on, but you can see they're 3 wide back there already. That was Joshua Osborne stuck in the middle. Rob Evans had his teammate 3 wide, S Ozkan up on the top. And they're making moves up towards the front. Poteet with a move to the inside of A Xavier. He's going to have Quentin Moore with him. Quentin Moore is going to get drafting help from J Schwallenberg, who now puts J Dearborn in the middle 3 wide. So D Poteet out to the point. Poteet looking to make his 3rd start on the season. D Poteet, a 2-time winner this season as a non-charter driver. Right now it's Chevy, Ford, Dodge, the top 3. Now L Chung makes an aggressive move. I don't know if that was necessarily a move on D Poteet as more a block on Rob Evans, but it worked out on both accounts, and L Chung now going to go to the point. Look at D Poteet, kicked up to the high side, no drafting help, and he is plummeting through the field. Look at that. Already in 2 corners, he's dropped outside of the top 10. And now Rob Evans to the inside with N Amoedo in that bright yellow Pennzoil Ford Mustang. So last week, we ended up seeing S Ozkan make the race. D Schwallenberg did not. That allowed S Ozkan to actually close up the gap quite a bit between himself and Schwallenberg for Rookie of the Year. Now only 7-point separation between those two. Z Stultz still in the running, as he's only a total of 11 points back. The other drivers right now that I think have a mathematical shot with only the handful of races we've got left here during the course of the season. This, of course, depends on them making it into the main shows in these upcoming 3 races as well. I would say that Dawson Wise and Michael Roode might be the only other 2 that might have a shot of dethroning Dylan Schwallenberg. Speaking of Roode, he's going to go to the inside, try and lead this lap from Rob Evans, and he will do so by about half a car length. Another thing I found interesting is the number of drivers so far this season, non-charter drivers, that have made double-digit starts. Dylan Schwallenberg, S Ozkan, Z Stultz, they've all made 11. Dawson Wise, Michael Roode, and Joshua Osborne, they've all made 10. But they are not the highest running driver in the overall point standings. That right now is Michael Wayne Robinson, 38th in the overall points, and that's only with 8 starts on the season. Bear in mind, he did have a victory back in one of the Chili Bowl heats, but his average finish in the 8 starts he's made is 2 spots better than the average finishing position that Dylan Schwallenberg has in 3 more starts. So, very interesting there as we're 4 wide back there. That was close. Quentin Moore, N Amoedo, D Poteet, and J Dearborn just barely caught that in the tail end of the field. They were leaning on each other with a 07 and a 36, but they managed to keep it together. And this track can hold them 4 wide. Make no mistake, you can race 4 wide at Talladega, but you got to be able to give at least a little bit of daylight between cars. You can't be leaning on each other like that. Otherwise, we end up seeing the big one take place. Another thing we got to keep an eye on here for this non-charter race, we'll be definitely having it in the charter event. I'm almost certain of that. But green flag pit stops. That's a guarantee later on today, but in this one, I mean, the fuel window that we know is roughly about 19 to 21 laps. It really depends on just how much draft you've gotten during the course of a run. So, 19 laps total here for this non-charter event. If a driver spends too long out in front, using up all that fuel to create the draft for those behind him, would he possibly run out of fuel on the last lap of this race? No love for RJ Bishop now as he's trapped on the top side with no drafting help. We had a car almost brushed the wall back there. That was A Sampsell really wide through the tri-oval. He almost got the right rear of his machine into that outside wall. Everybody's still up here in this lead pack, I believe. I don't think anyone, well, I thought everyone was in the lead pack, but K Mathews way off the pace there. That car does not sound good. That car sounds like he could be down a cylinder. I don't know if it's just the fact that he's running by himself, but I'd like to get a look at the right side of his machine if we've got a camera angle here. I wonder if he might have gotten up into the wall. Could have definitely brushed off his speed, his momentum, and lost him the draft. Let's see if we can get a look here out at turn 4. I don't see any visible damage on the Kings Island Chevrolet, but obviously he's in need of a caution to catch back up. Oh my God, there it is right there! J Taurus, Z Stultz. The contact was initially between the 63 and the 16, I do believe. That's going to bring out the caution for the first time today, and that just saved K Mathews in a big, big way. Stultz going to try and limp his Dodge back to pit road. Taurus cannot get the car refired. And the other driver I know that was involved in that was the 63 of D Voyles, who looks like he might have some left side damage there. Coming back to the caution flag, however, is Rob Evans showing the way over RJ Bishop. Drag race for third. Give it to Dawson Wise with Xavier and Roode, the top 5, coming back to the yellow flag. Well, if these drivers were short on fuel, they can definitely save it now here under pacing, unless they're absolutely worried. Then they can come to pit road here under caution. But I don't think we're going to see anybody, at least up at the front, give up the track position when the numbers were so close. They're going to take the opportunity here in these 2 or 3 pacing laps, clutch as much as they can, and be sure that they're going to be able to make it to the conclusion of this race. Let's go back and see what happened there in turn 1. Like I said, I saw initial contact there between the 63 and the 16, but I'm not necessarily certain what led to said contact. So we'll find out here as we look at a replay of the first caution of the day here at Talladega. I thought maybe looking at it initially, there might have been some miscommunication with a spotter clearing the 63 down. But watch the 16's front end. Yeah, he carried a lot of speed there into turn 1. And it's like the car never hooked. It started going straight. Nowhere for Z Stultz to go. That's unfortunate for him. Mentioned he was one of the guys that could very easily put himself in the closing stages of the season into the Rookie of the Year conversation. He obviously won't make the main event later on today. Neither will Taurus. But man, that was really, really strange. The only thing I can possibly think of, it could have been a combination of two things right there. Number one, he was in the draft of the drivers ahead of him, so that would have carried him a lot more speed into the corner. And in turn, maybe the heat in the right front might have caused for that car to get tight and he just wasn't ready for it. I'm really confused about that one because normally at a super speedway, a car doesn't just go straight like that unless something's terribly, terribly wrong. And even I think the fact too that Josh Torres never got the car refired and pulled away, that says to me maybe something broke in the front end of the car. That is tough break there for him as well as Z Stultz. Both those drivers at the time were actually running up inside of the top 10. Possibly in position to maybe get a transfer spot here, but now they're going to have to watch the Geico 500 later on today from the sidelines. We still got to determine, though, who the 6 drivers are going to be, and we're going to have ourselves a less than 10 to go shootout to determine it. Green flag going to come back out here on lap 14 of 19, which is going to give us a total of 6 laps remaining here in this non-charter event. Z Stultz did limp his machine back to pit road. The reason for him being out of the race apparently is the clutch. I think he had a lot more to worry about than the clutch, to be honest. That thing was all crunched up and smoking on the apron all the way around this racetrack from turn 1. Josh Torres still sits on pit lane, not officially out of the race yet. They're trying to, I don't know if they're trying to repair that car or not, but I don't see what good it would do. I think he's currently, it says 1 lap down. I think he's actually 2 laps down. But Rob Evans is going to bring us back to the green flag. Nobody came to pit road, by the way. Everybody feeling now with this caution and these pacing laps, they are good to make it to the end on fuel. So Evans, Bishop, Wise, Xavier, Roode, and Chung hold the transfer spots as the green flag back in the air with 6 to go. Oh, Evans saw Bishop take the peek. He tried to throw the block, but they might have made a little contact, and Bishop forces his way to the inside. And with the help of fellow Blue Oval Dawson Wise, they're going to go to the point. Going to take everybody a little bit of time to get formed up here with the single file restart. Try and find their teammates or alliances. Doesn't necessarily have to be a teammate. Doesn't necessarily have to be a fellow manufacturer. Your friends are where you find them when it's the super speedway. And Dawson Wise, who helped push RJ Bishop to the lead, now moves to the inside of him to take the spot. Michael Roode says, all right, I pushed you, 81. Now I want the top position. And he's got T Gehrdes helping with the drafting on that inside line. 5 to go here at Talladega. 63 of D Voyles back there. Looks like he may be off the pace. Remember, he had that left side damage, and I don't think they came down pit road to repair that. So he would not be aerodynamically sound, especially on these straightaways. A little surprised he didn't come down pit lane. Actually, no, correction. That's not even D Voyles. Who is that? Oh, that's the 16. Taurus got back out there. I don't know why, but he's out there. And it looks like K Mathews, it looks like it might have been a cylinder issue for him because he's actually lost the pack again. A lot of times that can be in trying to get up through the gears on the initial start of this race and break the transmission. You can't get up to top speed. Can't stay with the pack. That's a tough break there for K Mathews. This has not been a kind season to him. Down towards the cellar of the drivers that were charter machines this season. As a consequence, with Dallerton moving up with his win as a non-charter driver, one driver had to drop out, and that had to be K Mathews. So he has, for the last now, including today, 8 weeks, been trying to qualify his way into race after race, and has only been successful on one of them. Ooh, we got a car down the apron there. Is there someone coming to pit road? Yes, Justin Dearborn. I saw him get his left sides down there on the apron. He's pitting, as is Pedro Lucas. So maybe these guys, even with the numbers I thought, maybe they still can't make it on fuel. Or maybe they just didn't save here under pacing. Maybe they thought they didn't have to. Michael Roode, though, continuing to show the way here. He's been able to keep everybody in his rearview mirror for the time being. Look at this. Allen, Amoedo, and Stover all seemed to know what each other was doing. They all jumped down to the bottom, but couldn't make it work. Tristan Allen tried to tuck back in line. Amoedo's going to kick him to the outside. Tristan Allen now with Dylan Poteet helping him out. And here comes the 13 of Adam Sampsell to pit road. Dylan Schwallenberg is in. Joshua Osborne is in. Ooh, this is interesting. Fuel window's much different than what I was thinking. So now, for all these drivers, it's down to who was able to save the most fuel. They're under pacing, apparently, because this next time by is going to be the white flag. Now, we might see some drivers coming to pit road on fumes. There's going to be those risk takers, though, that are willing to run out of fuel on the final lap in order to make sure they advance into the Geico 500 later today. Michael Roode spent a good portion of the last run out in front, and he's been out in front for most of this run. Let's see if he's going to be able to make it on fuel. He's not coming to pit road. I don't think anybody else in this group's coming to pit road. They're all going to run the risk. Why not? 3 wide back there around a transfer spot. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. About 7 cars battling for the final 3 spots as the white flag was in the air. Michael Roode, N Amoedo, Brad Stover. Right now the top 3, Evans, Moore, and Xavier going to move into transfer spots at this time. But now N Amoedo stuck on the top side. Here comes Harrison Ponder in the 79. Some at Ozkan in the 70s. They're going to split Kyle Mathews, who just came off of pit road. Woo! L Chung almost making it 4 wide. Michael Roode's got plain sailing right now. Evans into second. I don't like where Brad Stover's at. Can he get himself at least down to the bottom to hold on to a transfer spot? He could get freight train before we get back to the start-finish line. And he will lose a transfer spot as Michael Roode is going to win. Evans second. Moore, Xavier, Allen, and N Amoedo by 8/100 snipes the final spot from Brad Stover just before the start-finish line. 1 Dodge, 1 Ford, 3 Toyotas, 1 Chevy going to transfer into the Geico 500. And Michael Roode might be making some plans for a late surge for Rookie of the Year. He came into this race top 5 in rookie points, 15 points out from Dylan Schwallenberg. None of the other drivers that he is battling for Rookie of the Year title, Schwallenberg, Ozkan, Stultz, or Wise, are going to be transferring into the main event later on today. So these drivers all made it on fuel, but a number of other guys back there did not. So the fuel window actually has widened. I was thinking 19 to 21 laps. Apparently now it's something around 15 to 20 laps or 16 to 20 laps, depending on just how many green flag laps we get run. Which is going to make things very interesting for the main event later on today. A total of 38 laps in that one. Michael Roode, though, with the victory. Roode is going to, with this win, he's going to qualify into his 11th race on the season. Rob Evans will be making his 5th start on the year. Quentin Moore, he'll be making career start number 9. Arthur Xavier will be making his 10th start on the season, so another driver that has now reached double digits in starts. Tristan Allen, our Bristol Dirt winner, he'll also be making his 10th start on the year. And N Amoedo, he'll be making career start number 7. Brad Stover, Harrison Ponder, L Chung, Dawson Wise complete the top 10, but they just miss out on making it in. We ended up having a total of 23 cars finish on the lead lap. From Voyles on, well, actually, no, from Sampsell on down. Those were drivers that apparently could not make it to the end on fuel. Sampsell, Schwallenberg, Lucas, Osborne, and Dearborn. K Mathews actually was on pit road as well. J Taurus, who was involved in our only caution of the day, 2 laps down, and Z Stultz, the only driver that finished this race in the garage area. He was also involved in our caution around the midway point of this race. So this race is over. Gives us some notes to be able to kind of get an idea of what to expect later on today in the upcoming playoff race at Talladega Superspeedway. And Tell you what, I'm almost wondering if maybe pit strategy is going to play more of a factor than avoiding the big one, just based off of what we saw right there in the closing stage of this race. But we're going to have to wait and find out. Thanks for tuning into this non-charter qualifying race. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys later on today for playoff race number 8, the middle race of the round of 8 here at Talladega Superspeedway. Closer to determine our final 4. You won't want to miss it. I'll see you guys later on this afternoon as you've been watching another production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.